So as you saw in the last video, we just destroyed a tire, and my logic was I didn't want to spend like $800 on a new set of tires, so I bought $800 machine to fix the broken tires and not spend on... Yeah, it makes no sense to me short term. I should have just bought new tires. I can't be any happier. Thing is it's fast. All right, so I did it again. I've been on the Facebooks. The marketplace has bit me. I spent $700 on this, and I'm not sure if it was a good investment or not yet. So a good one with everything on it and not used as well as this one has. I could get for $2,600 plus shipping on a $400 bulk freight unit. So at that point, who knows what you really end up being. So for $700, I got this bad boy. It's a K&L MC680. And the MC, I'm pretty sure, stands for motorcycle. It has the bead breaker, whatever that jobby does. I don't know tire machines yet. All your air stuff over there, the turntable, the locks, the rotating arm here. And then, yeah, so it's pretty cool little unit. I don't know if I got a good deal because the bead breaker is not working because of a leak down here in the solenoid somewhere. Not really sure what that's all about. Let's see, what else was the issue? The nylons were missing here. The nylon is missing up underneath here. This nylon's pretty much gone, so I should probably replace it. So that's over $100 worth of consumables that, you know, are needed for it there before you even talk about fixing the problem that's down there. But at the end of the day, $700 for what could realistically save us a lot of money. So this thing will do up to a 24-inch rim. The only limitation that we are currently worried about is it says it'll only do a 10-inch tall tire, which the first tire I want to play with is going to be bigger than that. Worst case scenario, I think I can modify that to work for our situation here. But I spend $25 a tire to have the mountain balance. And every time I do that, it's $100 because, you know, 4 tires. So the way I go through tires on the ATV and side-by-side stuff, I think this is a good investment. It's only 7 sets of tires. And that's just me. So I'm not the only one here that does that type of thing of destroying tires. So I feel like it's not that bad of an investment. But we're gonna see, because it's, like I said, broken. So as you saw in the last video, we just destroyed a tire, and my logic was I didn't want to spend like $800 on a new set of tires, so I bought $800 machine to fix the broken tires and not spend on... Yeah, it makes no sense to me short term. I should have just bought new tires, but okay, I buy the new tires, so I spent $800, and then I have to spend another $100 to have those mounted and done up for me. So I'm really looking at, I'm already saving money, kind of, maybe. We'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing put together, hooked up, and troubleshot to really kind of see what the hell's going on in there. I think I'm gonna have to take it off this dolly, which is gonna suck because it's nice to be able to move it, but I think I gotta get up under there in order to do what I need to do, so. All right, so we have 2 problems we found so far. One we already knew about, the leak in here, which just looks to be bad O-rings, hopefully, just inside. It's very clunky, like O-rings are rolling over on the inside, so we're gonna take that apart in a second here. We'll see what's going on in there. And 2, we have a little lever here that goes on the other pedal that does the clamping onto the rim. It's actually this part right here. So check it out. This goes in to clamp onto your rim. They have been using it, the other people, to go out, because right now when you push the lever in, it wants to be in the release position. That's its default position. Well, what they were doing is putting a rim over the outside of these, and they were just clamping on. And yeah, so we're not going to be doing it that way. So on the end up here, there's supposed to be a ball joint essentially that goes into a track, and when you push the lever down, it goes into position 1, and then you push it again, it goes into position 2, and then you push it again and it releases, I think. And so basically that's that detent right down there. I don't know if you can really see it underneath that gold plate, but there's a detent that it would ride into. And so how that would work, I think, still working into this, is you'd hit it once and it would go click, and the thing would tighten down and hold onto your deal. And then when you wanted to release it, you would just click it again and it would release, and then it would pop back out to here, I think. So far it hasn't been the worst job, but I don't feel like I got such a great deal anymore, that's for sure. So if you're watching, you got one there, bud, because it's having some issues. It's definitely not going to work as advertised by the people who made it. But they were like, oh, we've been using it. And I see how they were using it. And it will work for that. We're not going to do it that way. Just the way it is. So I'm going to go ahead and dig more into that solenoid and see just how screwed we are. Well, there's your problem. The actual ram itself, the O-ring's blown out and it looks like ass in here. Can't say I'm too surprised. What pisses me off is this guy, and I hope you're watching, dude, because that's shitty. And maybe I'm wrong, but they're like, oh, we just used it the other night, it was fine. Well, that don't look like it's been used in a while. But maybe I'm wrong. Alright, so I beat that scumbag back together, lubed it all up, and put the crappy O-rings that were in it back in it. And now, you plug that in. That tank pressurizes. Notice we don't hear any more air anymore. And I believe if I go right like that, she goes in. And she returns out. And then she stops. So the thing was filthy, like you saw. There was no way that those guys used that thing the other day. This thing's been broken for a while. It's probably the reason they owned it in the first place. But whatever, man. I got it done. It'll work for now. I just got to put it all back together. I got to get an appointment. So this is where we're at. I normally do this thing where I don't film anything about this kind of crap. So what I ended up doing was I rebuilt the solenoid. Didn't think there was anything wrong, but to be sure, I swapped to the other solenoid because they're exactly the same solenoids, or air valve, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Once I did that, it was doing the exact same thing, so I was like, it's got to be that thing. I beat the freaking thing apart. Like, you can tell a little wonky there, because it had actually rolled the O-ring. So I rebuilt all that, lubed the shit out of it. There's a good bit of lube in there. And we'll see if she holds. Won't really know until I put some real pressure on it and try to crack a bead, and whether or not it's going to mess up or not. But for now, it works, and we'll slap her back together. Alright, so we got the air on. Everything seems to be holding. Let's see what we got here. So this I have now loosened, and I'm not they had it pinched between two washers to keep it out all the time, but I think that's what that little rubber deal is supposed to do for us, is keep that up when you want to do it, right? I don't know. So if you hit the button, and then it sends it back. So yeah, I think that's working. So we're gonna go ahead and set you up, and I'm gonna try and break a bead. Alright, so I have no idea what I'm doing here. Not done this before. We're gonna give it a shot. Okay. Well, that was easy. Alrighty then. That worked really good. Barely an inconvenience. Alright, so got the sidewall repaired on this thing. I got it all back together and going back on the rig here in a second. Wasn't that big of a job, especially once this bad boy was working. Glad I got it. Wish I would have not paid as much as I did for it. I should have taken another $100 off just for the amount of work that was into fixing it. But it works good now. I mean, I don't know how it's going to do to pop like a bead on a big tire, but on four-wheeler tires, did just fine. So I'll probably check in later once I get the rest of the parts on this. We can actually run it to do a real tire. So I've got that tire we killed for the 28s. I want to take it off and patch it from the backside and see if there's any save in that tire. So I'll go ahead and do that once I get the pieces I need to do it the right way. And then I still need to build that piece of that lever for the mechanism down there. I also need to tighten that bolt. Yeah, about that. Should probably do that now. If I don't do that now, I'm not going to do it, period, because I'll forget, and then it'll break.